Today we're speaking with Susan Britt, who's the ServiceNow practice leader for employee engagements at DESBY Technologies, and this video is part of our MVP Insights series.
Nice to meet you. Thanks for having me.
So today, wanted to talk about your kind of personal journey into the ServiceNow ecosystem. So I was wondering if you could give us a bit of an overview on what that journey's looked like.
It's been a long journey. So I had started back in 2010. I was a stakeholder really from a ITIL perspective for a Lawson managed service provider. So our legacy company was getting rid of a CRM, and then we had just acquired a company that also had another CRM and ticketing tool, and we were coming together into ServiceNow. So I was a stakeholder in that project. Fruition Partners came on site, gave us admin training, got that implemented. And then I was really just an end user from 2010 to 2014, where I eventually took over the platform, our internal instances, and one of our customer instances as well. And from there, I've just been working for partners and consulting.
Amazing. And kind of recently selected as one of ServiceNow's MVPs. What does being a ServiceNow MVP mean to you?
It's very humbling to know that, out of all the hundreds of thousands of people in the community, like I was nominated to be an MVP for participating. And some days I don't even feel like I deserve it because I'm not as active as I should be. But really, it adds pressure to you as well. It's like, well, I'm an MVP and I got here by serving and answering questions in the community. So I need to live up to that and keep doing that even on the busy days. So it's an honor, truly.
Yeah, sounds great. And you kind of touched on kind of the ServiceNow community. I mean, what does that community kind of mean to you within ServiceNow?
It's one of the best communities I've seen from a tech space, any kind of application or tool. And really, I recommend everyone. I have a lot of people reach out to me. How do I get into ServiceNow? What should I do? And I recommend people go to the community, one, for find answers to your questions and your issues, right? That's if you've got the problem and the question, odds are someone else has had it in the past, if not a whole lot of people, and you could find those answers quickly. But also it's really a good way to learn. We don't learn until we do. And when you first get into the ServiceNow ecosystem, it's hard to find a job if you don't have experience. So if you go to the community, you're like subscribing to a product hub, like software asset management or HR service delivery, or just go there and look at those questions that haven't been answered. Go into your personal developer instance and try to answer those questions, troubleshoot, figure it out, do it. So you're learning, and then you're serving by giving the answer back as well. And at the same time, you're learning, what are other customers in my same industry doing? What are those lessons learned, those leading practices, and how can I use this system? So if you really take advantage of the community, it's priceless for you to learn ServiceNow.
Yeah, amazing. And I guess one of the kind of bedrocks, I suppose, of the ServiceNow community is kind of the knowledge event, which I know you attended. What was your kind of what were you doing there? What was the main kind of topics you were talking about there, I guess?
Yep. So I was involved in 3 different sessions. One was just kind of meet our MVPs. It was me and 2 others that we talked about what it meant to us to be an MVP and how we got to there, because we all came from different areas, how we got to the MVP status, and then how to work with partners and how to, our personal journeys into ServiceNow and what that looked like. And then I was part of a circle host for the lead hership through mentorship and community. So really I was assigned 3 tables, and our topics were around like setting boundaries, how do you avoid burnout, or if you're already there, how do you get out of it? And my goal was to like keep the tables talking, but it's such a topic we can all relate to that they didn't need my help. The lady started talking and just kind of dove right in. And then the session I led was with Jerry Wong out of the UK. It's really why technical people need soft skills. And we wound up doing that twice because there was such a demand for it. And so we went over soft skills, our favorite ones personally, and why they're so important, and then how you can learn and work on your own, or tell someone else how to work on theirs that all the technical in your life that don't have any.
Yeah, beautiful. And what kind of interesting, so you mentioned kind of, fairly long career in the ServiceNow ecosystem. What are kind of the interesting either past or sort of current projects that you'd like to talk about?
Wow. So I think historically, some of the fun ones were building those custom apps along with replacing CRMs, which ServiceNow just purchased one, so that's a new feature coming in ServiceNow.
Yeah.
But building those out custom was always fun. I've been kind of in this HRSD bubble for the last 5 years, so the HR service delivery employee workflows practice. And so it's been fun with DESBY where I'm out now, like sprinkling in some other things like environmental, social, and governance, those the ESG application and contract management pro. So I'm really having fun doing a little something different, but still in my passion of HR as well.
Yeah, yeah. So it sounds like you've kind of worked across quite a few different kind of different areas. Is there anything kind of examples that you can think of that have been kind of particularly successful that you've looked back on, or that you'd be kind of happy to share?
I don't know what all I can talk about with all the NDAs
Oh,
from other
okay, yeah.
customers.
No, don't worry then. Yeah, no worries. And is there anything else kind of regarding your involvement in ServiceNow which you'd like to share with us?
I can tell you a fun story. Just it kind of shows you never know where a conversation can lead to. So back in October of last year, I was in New York with ServiceNow doing a photo shoot, and day one is that awkward phase where you're doing photos by yourself and there's like a whole bunch of people standing around watching you as part of the film crew. And so the photographer was just kind of asking questions, the process, I guess, to make you feel more relaxed. And so he asked about my kids, family, what did they do? And I just made the comment, my oldest son is also a ServiceNow consultant. And so when I finished up the photos, one of the ladies that was sending around, she asked me a very specific question about ServiceNow. So not in a rude way, but in that trying to gauge how much she knew about ServiceNow, so her eyes didn't glaze over when I answered it. I found out she worked at ServiceNow, and she was really interested in my son's story of how he went from construction into ServiceNow, and they wind up flying out to Nashville where he lives and doing a video, and I got to be part of that. And so that video was actually released last at Knowledge with the launch of ServiceNow University, kind of telling his journey. So it's very cool to be part of that and help hopefully inspire other people that you don't have to be technical. You don't have to already be in ServiceNow to be a consultant and learn ServiceNow and be useful.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, look, I think really interesting and kind of different and sort of diverse insight from Susan there. So really appreciate you coming on, Susan. Is there anything else that you'd like to talk to today?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Yeah, awesome. Great. Well, thanks for joining us on another kind of Empiric Insights video. Thanks so much again for Susan. Really appreciate you taking the time to speak with us. And I'm sure if you want to find out more, you can connect with Susan on LinkedIn and kind of follow along with her work as well. Thank you.
Thank you.